All right, what's up, everybody? We back. We gonna talk about this Ravens and Bills game from the other day. I was gonna do this on Monday after the game, but had to fly a little bit, get some places I needed to be. Right. So I know everybody's blaming Lamar. They're blaming Mark Andrews, and it's a lot bigger of a picture than just that, right? So if you just see the first play of the game, the Bills, they're going to roll down in the box late with that safety. And I think that's Lamar Hamlin, if I'm not mistaken. They can get middle of the field close, and Lamar sees it, right? So it looks like it was a miscommunication on the route. It looks just from what it looks, right? Bateman's running a corner. Lamar's throwing it like it's a go. Now, this may not seem to be. Oh, Mark Andrews is open at the top of the screen too. Now, it's an innocent mistake, right? That's what a lot of people look at it. Early turnover, second. This the second play of the. Yeah, this was the second drive of the game, right? 7-7 game. Buffalo doesn't score after that. But I'm gonna tell you why. In the postseason, I saw Shannon Sharp talking about it on First Take as well, but I'm gonna break it down even further than what he said. He said, turnovers in the playoffs cost you double, right? It's not like it's in a regular season where a lot of times you got time to come back. I'm gonna break it down even further than that. So, average NFL game, you're gonna get anywhere between 10 to 12 possessions on offense, right? 10 to 12. This game, not including the kneel down that they had going in to the half, the Ravens only got 8 possessions. Games get shrunk. These games get shrunk in the playoffs. When a team starts to get a little bit of lead, they start getting a little bit of groove, you figure out ways to take air out the ball. That's what you do. Because if you can't get the ball and score, and we got the possession and we're putting up points when we score, or we're taking a lot of time off the clock with successful drives, we're winning on third down, the games get shorter, which means your opportunity to come back from a 21-10 deficit gets harder, right? That's a 2-possession game at best, and that's what ended up happening to them the whole time. So these possessions like this, in which you do throw that pick, or right here, and everybody getting on them about this fumble, bad snap. Now, if that's Jared Goff, or if that's Will Levis, even if that's, I don't know, Tua, Aaron Rodgers, anybody else that plays quarterback, with the exception of probably a couple other people outside of Lamar, Anthony Richardson probably could turn this into a play. We've seen Lamar make these bobble snaps and these fumbles like this, and he turns it into 6 points. He turns it into that's what we see when he does that, right? So you can't really you can fault him for the ball security part in the fumble right here, but you can't fault him for trying to make a play, because now you're asking him to not be who he is as a quarterback. He's an athlete, the most athletic quarterback in the league, right? And this was a hell of an effort by Justice Hill to try to get the ball back for him as well. At this point, the Ravens scored the first. They scored the first drive of the game. Bills scored the second drive of the game. Ravens threw a pick third drive. Buffalo punted fourth drive. Lamar fumbles right here. And then the Bills score off of this one as well. I was confused watching this game how much that Baltimore really didn't use Lamar in the run game as much as they had before. Give them something to look at. How they played versus the Steelers the week before made the Steelers really account for both. It seemed like there wasn't an effort and an emphasis to do that, right? So this was another big play, and I get it, right? And everybody's really hyping a lot, or they're not hyping. They're really cracking on Mark Andrews, which rightfully so. He does deserve, for the blunders that he made this game. Like right here, right? When you catch this ball, regardless of what they was running, because you're wide open, because whoever this is, he pushes away, and you had 3 covering one person. But he makes up for his mistake because he Peanut Tillman's the ball out right there. I'm confused on how he didn't just get upfield. Trying to juke on this surface all day long looked like it was a mistake, right? You saw him slipping and sliding all day, trying to change direction in certain things. Mark Andrews, at one point, before the injuries and everything like that, we had him in the same conversations as we do with Travis Kelce. He was one of those. So let's not act like Mark Andrews is a journeyman. Let's not act like he's not a good tight end. He's a great tight end. He's had an off year, and some of that has to do with Isaiah Likely emerging as a developing target in that offense, right? But right here, I'm just confused on why you would juke back inside when he could have probably got 3 extra yards. You're already in plus territory at this point. Probably need to get down, just like Lamar probably need to get down once he realized that fumble. But they made the play back, right? And I hate it for Mark Andrews because, like I said before, he's a great tight end, right? But I hate this for him because sometimes when you see these type of blunders, it's hard for a team to recover because no team is going to be the same next year, right? I don't care who it is. No team's going to be the same next year. Somebody on your roster, regardless if it's on defense or offense, or your returners, your kickers, punters, people are going to leave. You're going to sign other people. So everybody was thinking, I know everybody's getting tired of the Chiefs. So everybody was thinking, well, the Ravens might get them this year. The Ravens really might get them. And you couldn't have paid me, right? If you told me that Lamar Jackson would throw for double the amount of yards that Josh Allen threw for this game, and he threw for 2 touchdowns as well, and he threw a pick, you couldn't have paid me to think that they were down 11 at one point until he fumbled too? Okay. You couldn't have paid me to think that. And everybody's talking about with Josh Allen, he really didn't do much this game. Well, sometimes you don't have to. You don't have to go and win the game if the other team's going to just give it to you anyways. So right here, everybody's talking about we should have just gave the ball, or my fault, not we, because I'm not a Ravens fan, but they're saying that Lamar or Todd Monken should have just called a run play to Derrick Henry right here. Which, I mean, let's just do a hat count on that, right? So the Ravens got their 5. You got your 6 with Mark Andrews, right? Bills got their 4. They got the 2 in the middle. And you still got safety help to crawl down in the box. And you got your other safety right there in DeMar Hamlin. So this effectively, if you really want to be honest, this is an 8-man box for the Bills. 8, maybe a zone read if you want to get a hat count advantage, but they got 8. They got 6, right? So Derrick Henry would be 7. So you have an 8-on-8 count, but you don't have the advantage in the box. This wasn't a horrible play call. It actually was an excellent play call if you break it down schematically. They know it's man coverage, right? So with the man coverage, you know that he's going to run pylon. What I mean by pylon is he's going to run flat till he gets to the pylon. He's going to run high on top of him, which is just he's going to run out over there because they're going to push the pocket this way. Derrick Henry's going to seal anybody that leaks through. We're not going to block this guy. We're just going to block down and try to make sure that we have enough time to throw this. And Bateman is going to run a pick route to free him up, which is exactly what happens. Wallace is going to run a over, a basic over right there. And if everything else fails, by the time he gets here, Lamar probably will be over here in the pocket, and he might be able to throw that there. But what we see happen, and you can't have this, right? This is one of them things. It's like when somebody means the world, like not means the world, but somebody means well in what they do, but they make the mistake in it. You just can't have this. Like, you draw it up schematically the most perfect way that you can. Buffalo spied a lot. They ran a lot of double spies and a lot of spies on Lamar all game. You just have to make this catch. That's all it is to it, right? You can't directly just blame. Don't get me wrong. He does deserve some of what happened, but you can't just directly blame 89 for this whole thing. Because I'm going to be completely honest. After Derrick Henry scored the one touchdown and the Ravens were down 19-21, you probably should kick that and be down 1. Then you know going forward that you still can make a play, or you know you still will be down 8 if the Bills get the 6 plus the 1. To kick the field goal, you're down 4, so you already know you need to score to win, right? But he tried to get the points early, which put him in a position that they had to go for 2 here. Now, if you kick the extra point, you go down 20, you go down 21-20. Back when Derrick Henry scored in the third quarter, right here you kick the extra point. We play defense. That's what you would do. But when you put yourself in these situations like this, after you've already put yourself in a hole, you put yourself open for stuff like this. So it's tough, right? And it's tough for, like I said before, it's tough for the Ravens, because I always think when stuff like this happens, when you have these games in which you could have won, you played well enough to put yourself in a position to win, but you didn't play well enough to win, right? Overall throughout the whole game. Ravens had more first downs. Ravens had more total yards. They equaled out in drives. The Ravens threw the ball for more. They ran the ball for more. They had every advantage on the stat sheet. And this is why you can't always look at stats or a box score unless you're going to look and you're going to see they turned the ball over 3 times. 3 times, right? And it's tough for teams when you go through stuff like this, because you don't know how you're going to react until the next year, because this team's not going to be together next year. So points off turnovers for the Bills. The Bills got 10. 10 points off the turnovers, right? That's big. We're talking playoff football when the game gets shrunk. So y'all let me know how y'all feel. Let me know what you think about the game. You know, I know a lot of people, typical Ravens, blase blah, wooty woo, but they'll bounce back. It may not be this, obviously it's not going to be this year, but it may not be next season, but we'll see. I think probably now when these mistakes happen like this, it makes some players more expendable than others, especially with the emergence of Isaiah Likely as a more mature threat this year. You got Zay Flowers coming back, obviously, with his injury and everything. But I want to see what's going to happen with this team, because Marlon Humphrey might not be there, and a couple other pieces on that defense. So appreciate you. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about, the Ravens, or even what you think about the game, right? Appreciate you.